Hello and welcome to this quick and easy workshop where we are going to make these peep plushes or peep egg warmers with our 22 needle circular knitting machine. We need color for our bunny, color for the sweater, we need stuffing and scissors and our yarn needle, and we need something for eyes. You can sew them on, you can use buttons. I use safety eyes, they're not safe but I use them. And a fork because we need to make a pom-pom. And this is the pattern that we are going to make. This is the tube for the body. I'm not gonna demonstrate it. It's got 40 rows in the bunny color and 15 rows in the sweater color, and you can embroider or you can make stripes, and then you make 10 rows for the head color, and you make a small tube, cast on and off, and knit 17 rows, and of course a pom-pom, but I'm gonna demonstrate that with a fork. And then I'm gonna demonstrate also how to make the ears and how to make the arms. We need also 2 of them. So you can knit the big tube and the small tube, and the rest we're going to do together. And I'm going to show you how you finish off the 17 rows tube. Fritz joined the video. So when I casted off everything, I just kinch both ends. Make sure that you kinch neat. And I just make my little knot. And then I'm going to kinch the second one. Make sure that the ripped side is on the inside. Just roll it to the inside before closing completely. Also with my little knot. And then I'm going to make a flat circle. I don't know why I just pulled out my yarn. That was not necessary. I'm going to flatten it. Make sure that the middle is in the middle. And I stick my needle through both little holes to one side. And there are the two coming together, the two ends. And I just knot them. Now my circle is flattened. And make sure it's okay. And then I put my yarn back, both tails back into the needle. And stick it through the little hole between both layers to the side of the circle. Let it come out between 2 vertical bars. And that you can put away for now. And we continue. Next thing we are going to knit are the ears. For the ears we need 2. We cast on 6 stitches and knit 13 rows. No, 13 turns. I always count the turn when I knit flat. When you do not know how to knit flat, see the description of the video for a very easy tutorial that I made. So I'm going to cast on 6 stitches and make sure that everything is in place. And now I'm going to knit, and every turn is a row. So this is my first row. Knit slow and easy, and watch carefully that everything is in place and help when needed. It goes fast enough. This is my second row, and I'm going to knit 13 rows. And when you're finished, you cut your yarn, not that long, because we do not need a very long piece. Take it out of our feeder, grab a yarn needle, and release the stitches from the needles by cranking further. And then we are going to pick up the stitches, but we are going to do it not clockwise as we are used to, but we start with the last one and we pick them up the other way around. And then we can just pull and close those stitches. And our begin yarn, we just pulled it slightly so that it's wide enough to sew it on the head. And the yarn in my needle I just zigzag also to the point where I'm going to join the ear to the head. And that's how you knit an ear. And you have to knit two, of course. So now we are going to knit the arms. They're basically almost the same as the ears, but we have to change color. So I'm going to show how to do that. We cast on 6 stitches and then we knit 4 stitches in the color of our bunny, and then we knit 7 stitches in the color of the sweater. So I'm going to cast on 6 stitches again. With the color of the bunny. Make sure that your yarn is under the peg next to the 6th needle. Put it in your feeder and you are going to knit 4 turns, 4 stitches, 4 rounds, 6 stitches. Sorry. You're going to knit 4 rounds with the color of the bunny. And when you are finished, your work is from the on the right from the needle, from the feeder. And now you put your yarn inside after you cut it. And then you take your new piece of yarn and you put it in the same place as the other one. So between the last needle and the first nothing needle. So they are both in the same place. I have to knit the last stitch. You see, it's not knitted yet. Now it's knitted. Now I crank back. And now I'm going to knit the green color. Be sure that it goes under every needle. Just take your time to do this. And when the first round is knitted, you knit another 6. So that will be 7. There's a lot of noise outside today. Not the birds, but people working outside. Knit just slow and watch carefully what you are doing. And then everything is going to be okay. And when you have knitted your 7 rounds, you cut your yarn again, not so long. Take it out of your feeder. Release the stitches from the needle by cranking further. I always push the fabric down so the yarn is always on the right place around the needles. And this I'm going to pick up clockwise. And I do not tighten it because this part is going to be sew on the body. So I need the width. I just cast off and pull through. And that's it. And now I'm going to pull the cast on piece of the color of the rabbit. And I close that. And then I take the and tail, and I just knot them a couple of times together. So a little fist will appear, and then I take the beginning yarn of the green and I knot that also with the other ones. And then I just cut those threads very short and put them inside the little fist. And then your arm is finished and you have to make 2. So, good luck. Now I'm going to show you how you make a pom-pom with a fork. I'm going to make a white pom-pom for another bunny. And I take a piece of yarn that's twice the length of my fork. About, it's not exact science. And I cut it. And then I take the double through the middle part of the fork. And then I take my working yarn and I'm going to wrap it around the teeth of the fork. I keep everything in place with my thumb. And I'm going to wind as wide as the fork is thick. So, or as high, I don't know in English all the right correct terms. It's going to be a square. And when you reach about a square, you are going to wind back and forward and back and forward till you think you reached a thick enough piece of winded yarn to make a pom-pom. Just take your time to wind as neat as you can. And when it's wide enough, you take your yarn and put it again through the loop in the middle and close those 2 pieces with a firm couple of knots. And then you can cut off your working yarn. Be careful that you do not cut the wrong one, your working yarn. So. And I've got the beginning yarn. I also cut that. And then I keep those 2 pieces that I just knotted because they are important to connect the pom-pom to the bunny. And then you are going to cut along the fork all those threads. Just stick your scissors in between next to the fork and do that on both sides. Be careful. And then you can release it from your fork and you can cut a little piece. And that's your pom-pom. And now we are going to connect the things to each other. At first we are going to close the tube on both sides. Be sure that you knotted all those color changes on the inside. Just pull close, make sure all the ribs are inside, and I just make a little knot, and that's enough. And then I'm going to close the opposite side also. Make sure that all the ribs are inside. Just roll them to the inside. And then you put one side in the other end, one end to the other end. Take your time to make sure they're neat in place on every side. And then you take a piece of yarn and put it through the hole, through the other hole on the inside. And then you have both pieces on one side and you just knot them firmly together. Do not cut them. Just put them back into your needle together and stick them between both layers to the inside. Make sure you're not going through both layers, but go between both layers. And then you can cut off the yarn. Keep it. Turn the outside to the outside when it's not on the outside. Make sure everything is nice in place. And find yourself the back side. And that's where you changed your color. Here it is. Now you take your needle with those 2 threads in it and you're going to zigzag through or the green one or the skin one, under and over the stitches. You start where the color changes and then you are going to zigzag all the way around. Do not pull your thread all the way around. It's going to be spring here and people are cleaning up their gardens or something. A lot of noise. So, and when you're all the way around, you just leave it. And now we are going to put in the safety eyes when you use them. When you do not, you can sew or embroider afterwards. But now I have to put those inside in the head. So I make sure that I'm on the front of the head and not on the back. And I just put in the eyes. I like them more together. Yes, so now I'm going to close them. These eyes are not safe on fabric that's knitted this white. So I use them because I like them, but they're not safe. But I'm not going to give this to small children. These are my examples. So far so good. And now we can choose between an egg warmer or a stuffed doll. The egg warmer is not closed on the bottom and the stuffed doll is. So that's the difference. The egg warmer, look, you can also put it on the basket. That's another tutorial you can find on the playlist. But I'm going to show you how to make the egg warmer. And the egg warmer has a stuffed head. So we are going to put stuffing inside. You can change it when it's not correct. Then you're gonna pull the threads into a knot. Not all the way, but halfway. And make a knot. And then you will see that there's stuffing on the inside coming out of the hole. But you just put that inside the head and then it's okay. It's not going anywhere. And then you take, that's basically your egg warmer. And then you take your yarn needle again and you're going to put them into your needle and into the head. Pull through. and cut. And then we have basically our egg warmer. And we are going to attach our pom-pom, our tail, of course, on the back side. Put one of those two pairs into my needle. Be sure that you take the back side and not the side, left or right. And simply knot those two pairs firmly together. And then you can put them to the inside between both layers if you're making an egg warmer, and you can just put them to the inside when you're making a stuffed doll. But I do them between both layers now, so everything is possible, no rules. So that's basically our egg warmer, but I'm going to make now our stuffed version, our Peeps. So I put some stuffing inside. And now I'm going to pick up my circle that we made in the beginning. And I pick up my yarn needle and put the tail inside the needle. And then we have to secure the tail to the side of the circle. That's very easy. It's just a little knot around that vertical bar. So our yarn is not going anywhere. And then we take our doll and we are going to put the side of the circle to the side of the bunny, and just simply going to sew through both layers under some bars and go all the way around. Just take your time. The pairs are all there. It's like it's made for each other. Oh yeah, when you want to use a rattle, put it inside now. This is about an hour project. It's very fun to make. It's very easy. And you can make all kinds of dolls just by making other ears. And when you know how to crochet, you can crochet all kinds of ears. There are no rules. Be creative and let yourself completely go. At some point you can put some stuffing inside, some more stuffing inside. Don't forget to do that. People always ask, how much stuffing should I use? I always say, when it's coming out, when it's popping out, it's enough. So always not too much, but when a toy is used, it will go together a little bit. So a little bit firm is allowed, but not too firm. Yeah, it's a feeling. And when I'm done, I'm just closing with a little knot and put the needle again to the inside, to the outside, and cut off my yarn. And now we only have to connect the ears and arms. I'm starting with an arm. Just guessing where it's okay. I'm not a very precise crafter. I like to craft and I like to have fun with craft, but I'm not a very precise worker. But these are my own toys, so no judgments, only having fun. You see that the arm is not close, but that's not a problem for me. And when it's joined in a way you like it, you just finish it, secure your yarn, put your needle to the inside, let it come outside somewhere else and cut it off. And do that also with the second arm. And my second arm is also connected now, so I'm cutting off that yarn. And now I only have to put on the ears. And I've made 2, so you can attach them the way you like it. I just guess where it's a good place, and those few stitches, when it's really, really, really on the wrong side, then they're just as easy frogged. And then I put the yarn through the head, let it come out somewhere else. And then I'm putting the second ear on the head, somewhere where I like it. I'm not good at joining pieces, but I really love my Peeps. And now I'm working behind the camera, looking through the camera, so it's got an extra difficulty. But I'm coming there. I'm getting there. So, and now my Peeps is finished. He's got a flappy ear and I like it. You can make them in all colors. And you can embroider something on it, and you can make eyelets on it, and you can do everything to make them. So if you like this tutorial, give me a thumb up and subscribe on my channel to miss nothing. See you later. Stay safe. Enjoy crafting. Bye.